family. I'm studying ancient history and archaeology at UW, and I'm currently in my third year.
My full name in Vietnamese is Minh Thư, and people to get to know me is Cassie and my nickname. And I'm the first year in Wollongong. So I'm doing the PCM.
Now I'm doing a Bachelor of Communication and Media in University of Wollongong, and my major in Advertising and Marketing Communication.
Australia is one of the biggest hubs for international students. However, COVID-19 has had a severe dwindling effect on the number of students currently enrolled in Australian universities. Being an international student in COVID times is nothing short of a challenge, irrespective of whether the student is onshore or in their home country. Avantika Binani is an international student from India who came here in July 2019. She has only attended on-campus classes for one semester, after which all classes switched to remote delivery.
Well, when COVID was not a thing, I used to go to uni all the time. Like, I loved my lectures. I never watched any of the pre-recorded lectures. I preferred to attend it in person, even if it was like 8 a.m. in the morning or something.
Cassie, on the other hand, studied in Australia for a couple of months, but then decided to go back to her home country, Vietnam, when all her classes transitioned to online learning.
I came to Australia in February, and then I left in October, like the 1st October, because of the COVID-19, and we're doing online. So I went back to my country and then starting a uni in this year. I just like study online, and I can study online in Vietnam as well. Like we just need a laptop and Wi-Fi to doing online study. And staying in Australia for like a year is much more expensive than I'm staying in my own home country.
Nguyen is also an international student from Vietnam. She is in her second semester of study at UW and has never set foot in Australia. All her uni experience so far has been through a screen.
I think it would be good for me if I can study on campus. On campus experience, I can meet my friends face to face, talk with them, and I can get some more perspective from new experience, new people from here, and yes.
All three of these international students have had unique experiences, nothing close to the conventional experience of an international student. It is interesting to hear their different perspectives on online learning.
Well, if I have to give one word for that experience, I'll just say it's dull. It's just dull for me right now. I hate it. I honestly really hate it. Because my subjects are archaeology and geology, which are so much more focused on me going out in the field and looking at physical things. I feel like I'm missing out a major portion of my learning experience.
Until now, the COVID wave just happened in Vietnam. I have to stay in lockdown and quarantine like 24/7 at the moment, so I can go out and doing things. So it just like in Australia, like when the last year I'm just staying in the campus and doing online study, and now I'm staying in my own room doing online study. So nothing changed a lot.
Delving into the social sense of belonging during the lockdown, the three students talk about what keeps them motivated to study.
Yeah, like online study. Actually, BCM and a major in marketing and advertising in my dream job. Like I really like into that area. So there's some subject like BCM 114 or BCM 116. I can actually making things and get interact with the real job. So that motivate me a lot. Like I love what I'm doing right now. That's actually the motivation for me to doing things, because like when you love doing something and you just do it, and it's just feel the great feeling for you to doing the thing you love to do.
Well, it's definitely disappointing being in Australia and not attending classes, because this is what I'm paying for. We've taken a loan, my parents have taken a loan and everything just to make sure that I'm getting this experience. So the very fact that I'm I'm here, I'm away from my family, and I'm making all these sacrifices and still not getting the benefit of it is just it doesn't motivate me at all. Some days are hard.
In the first semester, I have no friend, and I'm very thankful and very stressed about the first semester in Australia, and I study remotely. So I asked Kate for help, and she mentioned and introduced me some lovely friend, and they helped me a lot. Then I have BCM subject, and when they have in tutorial, I will chat with them, and then I will ask them, make friend with them.
Despite UOW's attempt at being accommodative of students' needs both onshore and offshore, there was a particularly significant challenge that offshore students faced.
I study in Vietnam, and Australia is ahead 4 hours. So sometimes when I have early tutorial or early lecture, I will wake up at 6 a.m. I have a lecture at 8:30 a.m. in the morning in Australia time. So I woke up at 4:30 a.m. So it's a sleepy, but I try to wake up and listen the lecture.
And also like sometimes the different time zone in Australia and Vietnam. Sometimes I just wake up and got into class. I'm not like I'm on literally in the bed and under blanket to like join the Zoom meeting. So turn on the camera is a little bit offensive for the teacher, I guess.
Avantika and Cassie both had the option of going back home. What they did not have was the surety that they would be allowed back in Australia given the international border closures. Cassie decided to go back, but Avantika stayed. It's interesting to understand the reason behind their decisions.
I didn't have an option to go back, but it's kind of like I have to decide if I want to give up on everything that I've done so far and go back home, and then give up on ever having any kind of uni experience, or do I just want to wait it out and see if COVID, if things get back on track? So I guess that's been a very difficult decision to make, and even though I've had the option of going back, I've decided to stay. Decided to stay in Australia, hoping that things get better. Well, there are definitely good things that I've achieved being in Australia and not being back home in India. One of those things are probably I've worked. I've gained the work experience because I've been working at I've been working part time at a ceramic studio, and I think that's really helped develop my personality, which I would not have been able to do if I was at home.
I just told you that the financial thing is the most reason why I choose to back to Vietnam, because I totally depend on my parents. But like if in case I have a job there, I can like live on my own and to reduce some stressful for my parents on money, I maybe stay in Wollongong, because like we young and we want to like explore more in the world. We don't to back home and like study in the room, right?
General opinion on online learning might not be one of enthusiasm. Cassie definitely seems to think that remote learning has upsides to it.
I mean, my pronunciation is just not good, and then we not like have a face to face or actually interact with the people we are talking, and sometimes maybe our pronunciation or our mind doesn't working, and maybe get annoyed with the people in the room, like the Zoom meeting, and maybe they don't get it, and it just get like so confused for people, and also make me feel bad about that. So I just chatting or sharing my talk by typing, and it would be really great for people to can read through it and they just got the message. And like like when the um I totally get it. Like when in my tutorial, my tutor say something in the about the lecture, and some native English speaker have a question. They just turn on the mic and asking that, and we just fall into them. But not for me, because I feel like if I turn on the mic and saying something like like that, it will be annoying for other people. because we have to think first, then we say. So I'm just like prepare it by typing. It's really great for me. And I think it's the like the bad things about online study, because I still want to talk and like to get improvement in my speaking skill or pronunciation. So if in class I will to speak up and think about that. Okay, I tried my best to express my message to my teacher or my friends, but now in online study, it just feels so weird, like, oh no, I don't do that. And also talking with the computer is weird too. So I'm just typing, and that's will be great.
International uni life is something of a dream for many students, which unfortunately has not been an experience they can enjoy due to COVID. Avantika, Nung, and Cassie talk about what they miss and what they look forward to.
I miss the social connection of meeting new people, and it's just a good experience. You get to meet new people every day. You get to work with different minds, and I guess I miss that. But my social life, I'm pretty happy with the tight knit group that I already have.
Maybe challenging, chaotic, but interesting and empowering time for me, because I think uni life means different to different people, but for me it's represent a transition from a childhood to adolescence, and it's when I can live independently, make my own decision and be responsibility for everything. And uni life will be the best time for me to gain new experience, new perspective, and meet new people, be friends. Yes.
With hopes of the international border reopening for international students, Avantika, Cassie, and Nung carry on living another day of the new normal, hoping that there is light at the end of this really long tunnel.